They are taking down what they call organized hate groups, or hate against specific religions, specific like sexuality, things like that.
A number of people were purged from Facebook.
Breaking news out of Silicon Valley. Facebook has banned a number of prominent conspiracy theorists and alt-right figures from both its site and the Instagram platform, including Alex Jones and his media outlet InfoWars. NBC's Ben Collins joins me now from our New York newsroom. Ben, this is, I think...
Hold on. I got to stop for a second. This is a CNN clip, right? That was CNN, wasn't it? They're talking about banning conspiracy theorists. Shouldn't they have to ban themselves? Real talk, man. This whole Russia conspiracy, that's what it is. You were saying there was a conspiracy between Trump and Russia. And now that it's proven to be false, weren't you a conspiracy theorist? And weren't you peddling a false conspiracy? Why hasn't Facebook banned CNN and MSNBC and CBS and ABC and all the other networks that are present on its platform who peddled it for 2 years? I'm just asking questions. I'm carefully trying to phrase my questions because I too could end up banned. But it's a question that a lot of people want to know. Why is it that only independent folks who are not attached to a network, i.e., not with a whole bunch of staff, not with shiny facilities and golden parachutes, why are they the only ones that you can spend so much time on, making sure that their data or the information passes your personal sniff test? That's just something. I just thought I'd point that out, the hypocrisy of Facebook bureaucracy.
For those of us who've been following this story, why are they doing this now?
Well, it's a good question as to why they waited this long, but
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so Alex Jones has been banned from Facebook for a long period of time, but now they banned him. They banned his little underling, Paul Joseph Watson, who's a notorious anti-Muslim conspiracy theorist who tried to break off recently. They banned Laura Loomer. They've even banned Louis Farrakhan from the platform for his anti-Semitism, which is that's always sort of been the what about from the right here is why not ban Louis Farrakhan if you're banning Alex Jones? So they banned both. So that's what's happening here on Instagram today. They are taking down what they call organized hate groups, or hate against specific religions, specific like sexuality, things like that. This is sort of taking the lead of its parent company, Facebook, from a while back, just had a hard time enforcing this. And it's actually going a little bit further than Twitter. A lot of these people aren't banned from Twitter, and they are, in fact, banned from Instagram now.
So is this a decision that's rooted in the policy that Facebook has had all the way along, or is this essentially a political decision?
It's complicated. It depends on how you want to view this, really. A lot of people on the right say this is censorship to take people down, even though they are, effectively over and over again railing against specific religions or people like that, like contributing to targeted harassment of sometimes private figures. But really, what they're trying to do here is clamp down on the really bad stuff on their platform, so they have fewer PR disasters. This is a company that has abetted, unfortunately, accidentally abetted genocide in Myanmar with Facebook. So they're trying to stop all of the bad stuff on the platform from getting too big. And frankly, by the way, really quickly, Alex Jones, while banned from Facebook, was still on Instagram. And we did some internal data on this. If you looked up Joe Biden, one of the top 20 posts on all of Facebook and Instagram in the last 3 days about Joe Biden came from Alex Jones's Instagram account. So that's gone now. That's just not there for him anymore.
Yeah, a very telling statistic. NBC's Ben Collins, thanks very much for the update. We appreciate it.
Ben Collins seems like a jerk. If Ben Collins there, he's a little too giddy about people getting banned off platforms. Notice how he called Philip Joseph Watson like the little whatever, like really dismissive. Like, I don't know, man. Like, think what you want to think of these people who got banned. They made their own way in the world. They didn't go get jobs working like for CNN where they got to kiss butt to be a correspondent or whatever. Everyone you listed did their own thing under their own their own strength, their own muscle, their own ingenuity, their own voices. They're not propped up like you, Collins. Interesting stuff. And notice how they ended this. I thought it was cute. The whole what is it? The little jab at what was it? It was something at the end there. I got a little pissed off. I kind of forgot what I wanted to say about it. At the very end, what they said at the very end there was something.
Add stuff on the platform from getting too big. And frankly, by the way, really quickly, Alex Jones, while banned from Facebook, was still on Instagram. And we did some internal data on this. If you looked up Joe Biden, one of the top 20 posts on all of Facebook and Instagram in the last 3 days about Joe Biden came from Alex Jones's Instagram account. So that's gone now. That's just not there for him anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, he looked like he was about to cry. We did a little digging, and if you look for Joe Biden, you'll find a Alex Jones post. Oh, no. You are a corporate media bid wench. Really, that's what you are, man. You're sitting there, you're actually upset. Look, it's not on purpose, like Facebook obviously doesn't promote Alex Jones content. That means people were sharing it. People were sharing it. In fact, I bet you that Facebook did all it could do to suppress his content. But he made a post that was so viral, that was so full of information that people related to, that somehow it popped through the other CNN propaganda and MSNBC propaganda about Joe Biden. Anyway, heaven forbid that actual human beings who don't work for corporations have an opinion that rises through the masses. You peddle that? All right, so here goes a couple comments about the Facebook purge. We've always banned individuals or organizations that promote or engage in violence and hate, regardless of ideology. The process for evaluating potential violators is extensive, and it's what led us to our decision to remove these accounts today. The company goes through a very lengthy process and takes into consideration a number of factors before determining an individual to be dangerous. Laura Loomer is dangerous. I do not prefer Laura Loomer. I don't prefer Philip Joseph Watson. But I gotta say, dangerous? Just because there's a kooky, first of all, we have unstable people in our communities. We have people that are easily influenced, whether it be by mainstream corporate media nonsense or whether it be from someone who watches Alex Jones or Philip Joseph Watson. I think you have to start blaming an individual who does something reckless and crazy. Blame the individual that did the thing. They try to do the same thing with rap music. Remember rap, anytime a kid shot someone or whatever, were they listening to rap music? It was rap that did it. They ignored the whole fact that the guy was poor, living in poverty, had a record, couldn't get a job, couldn't get public assistance, couldn't get a place to live, couldn't get a food stamp, so they had nothing left but to a life of crime, because that's all society left the guy, and he's got post-traumatic stress disorder and everything else from living in a community of other people who do the same thing, which is feed off of one another. Forget all of that. What was in his iPod? That's all they want to know. So it's the same thing here with this blame the independent media people for the actions of one person who does something that's against the law that they shouldn't do. If you don't know it's against the law to do something and then you do it, if you don't know it's against the law to do some of the violent acts or whatever. Okay, so anyway, I'm against violence, but I don't blame a person unless you can show me that any of these people that you banned told these people to go do the violent thing. I'm even borderline with that, because you gotta be something really wrong with you. But if they did that and you can prove that, then you should ban them. Okay? What else? Spokesperson also added that Facebook will remove groups, pages, and accounts created to represent the banned individuals. when it knows the individual was participating in the effort. Anyway, so hey, that's what's going on, man. They're banning people. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm trying to weed through, see if there's anything else to talk about. Yeah, Yiannopoulos, he published a final post on Instagram. Lauren Loomer said, looks like you guys will probably never hear from me again. Joseph Watson, who still has a Twitter account, which I'm sure is on a time clock at the moment, made a post. He said, in an authoritarian society controlled by a handful of Silicon Valley giants, all dissent must be purged. Farrakhan, Jones did not immediately respond to requests for comment. You know, none of us should be applauding for the removal of any accounts because eventually, they will come for us too. It's all a matter of time. If you tick them off, if the pressure is applied to them, Zuckerberg will fold like an old wash rag. There is no free speech. You know, the idea that maybe these utilities or these social media platforms have become public utilities may not be too far from reality. And yeah, I don't wish it on anyone, you know. As someone who makes their living on the internet, I don't wish that on anyone. Unless you are telling people go commit violence, you're just sharing ideas and thoughts. And anyone who disagrees with you can put in the same amount of time and rebut your thoughts, and you can have that conversation. I don't see why we can't just, go to, counter. Can't you just counter them? All right, let's move it on, guys. I'm just trying to figure it out. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay. Kamala Harris.